Okay, so we have a new episode of Legends and Leaders, and it's great to have Shane here. Shane, you're the founder of Inventus. You've invented so many different types of interesting mobility focus and just different devices and things throughout your career. I mean, including the what became the hoverboard technology. Also, you've been awarded awards by CES, by Impacts, and just you've been recognized for your skills in the inventing area. And you've really transformed mobility with some of the things you've created. So I'm excited to get into your story, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, how did you kind of get into inventing in the beginning? Like, where did this passion come from?
You mean in general, any invention, or about the car?
Yeah, in general.
In general. Well, when I was, I grew up in China. When I was little, I always tried to have kind of an imagination of something. At that time,
Right.
I built a model airplane. When I was 10 years old, model about the radio. Finally, I think when I was 15 or 14, I built a little TV. So at that time, most people didn't have a TV. So I built a little TV with the oscilloscope tube. So little TV is a circular, green. So that's, I just kind of have a hobby. Always try to make something. But later, when I think I came over to United States in 1986. At that time, I start thinking, designing something new. But at that time, I was only doing electronic instruments for scientists. So then I did that for quite a few years, until about year 2000, I started thinking about anything in the world. So because I mainly like to do things, make things and sports, like swimming, windsurfing, any kind of thing. So I often get the idea of, about what I've been doing. And sometimes like cooking. So I got the idea for cooking gadgets, a few of them. So that's how I usually, got it, you mentioned.
So how do you kind of come up with these ideas? Has it always just been something that's natural to you, or is there's a process you go through? Like, how do these ideas kind of come into your head?
Most of the ideas are, it was just random. I think that's how, I even think that's how most people, have ideas. It's random. It's like, you can't really plan on it. It's hard to target on something. It's not like I want to design something. You can design something based on the known technology. You could do that. But inventions, it's pretty hard to do that. It often, you have something in your mind, but one day, the light bulb goes. So that's how, you all of a sudden you realize something, the idea come out. I think that's how my idea usually works.
So you had this kind of company making stuff that was more like bioscience focused, and then you also had Inventus. It seems like you had them at the same time. Like, how did you manage both?
Originally, when I just came to the United States, I had a degree of agricultural meteorology. So I was designing instruments for that field, like photosynthesis system, leaf area meter. And by the way, my leaf area meter invention was put on the space station by NASA. So at that time, I didn't patent anything. I just didn't even get into the patenting anything. Just as idea, I made something, and people use it. So yeah, I'm sorry, I lost your question. What's your question?
Yeah, it's like, how did you manage the bioscience business and also Inventus at the same time?
Right. Well, I was only focusing on that type of instrument until around the year 2000, I was a little bit bored of just designing, inventing the scientific instruments. So I would start thinking anything. Then I quickly sold the original company, designing scientific instruments, and focused mainly on inventing anything. So it was not really much overlap. Just immediately I got bored of a scientific instrument. I started thinking about anything. When I got, come out with some ideas, I was excited. I feel like, okay, I don't want to do the other one anymore. So close that business.
Mm-hmm. So how did like the Aqua Skipper, like how did that kind of come about? So you were just like, how did the idea come about, and how did you even go about starting to make it? Like the materials and things needed. Like, how did you do that?
Right, Aqua Skipper was one of my first few inventions. But Aqua Skipper is not an original invention. I mean, now I'm not the original inventor. It was an improvement on someone else. That's how usually, you're inventing things. You see something, someone already has something, right? You're thinking about that, use it, and I feel like, okay, I can make something better than that. That's how, Aqua Skipper is one of those things. I saw, I think 1990 something, that during that time, there's a couple of people, they both come out with a similar idea. One is in Washington State. He came out with a thing that it's a little boat with the two pontoons with a hydrofoil underneath. He just jumped on it. He fly out of water. About the same time, another guy in Sweden, he came out with one actually more like Aqua Skipper, but a bit different. So he was selling his, so I bought his. The other one, he's not selling, just his own invention for fun. I did, go there to see his invention, and the one from Sweden, he was selling only sold like a couple hundred of them. So I bought one of his. I like it, but it's just difficult. There's lots of difficulty learning it. So I just have an idea for improving, especially the spring part. So I made an improvement, make more efficient and easier to learn. Then I start making a whole bunch to sell. That's what the Aqua Skipper came from.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like also what you like to do is come up with the idea, create the product, and then license it out to different companies, and then they help you scale. I think you did that with Razor with the three different wheeled scooter, and this as well. Why has that method been the best for you?
When I quit the other business, started the Inventus, I was thinking I was not gonna do any more business because I didn't really like the business part when I was running the other company. So I was just thinking, okay, from now on I'll create a new company called Inventus. I will only invent. So I'm thinking I'll just have ideas, right? Then I'll license to other people, other companies. I thought that was my business model as an inventor. But it didn't work because I realized later, people don't just take your idea, or even you have a good invention, you patent it, you tell them, hardly anyone take it, to tell you the truth. Because anything so new, no matter how good you think they are, and other people don't see the same way you see. Give you one example. Thomas Edison has to try so hard to convince people to use his light bulb. And at that time, lots of people telling him, we prefer the flame lamp better. So can you imagine that? Still like the, flame lamp. So that's how, even so obviously to you it's good, but other people don't see it the same way. So in the earlier time, I got a couple of inventions where I try to you convince people to sell, maybe not selling, to convince people to license. Everybody say no. So I didn't have any choice but making it by myself. Originally, I wasn't going to make anything, right? Then after I found this problem, I have to make a small quantity and start selling, and to make some money to can support my new inventions. So after you start selling, it's kind of proven working in the market. I mean, here's the stat. Even you think it's a good idea, you like it, you make a prototype, you use it, you like it, but other people are not convinced until you sell to them, they start using it, they like it, then the market start growing bigger, and then everybody want to come in to license from you. That's what happened. The Razor got my a Power Wing scooter, and later on the hoverboard is perfect example. I invented a hoverboard. I patented in 2012. I put in toy fair, huge trade show. That's an international toy fair in New York. Everybody said, "Oh, that's cool. I like it." And that show is mainly targeted to companies, the licensors and the buyers. Going the Razors was there. Razor look at it, no, not for us. They didn't like it. Then many other people look at it, nobody wanted it. Second year, 2013, I was in toy fair again. Still nobody wanted it. I had no choice. Okay, a few months later, on the same year, I put on Kickstarter. And still, it was good. Lots of people, supported on Kickstarter. We made like a couple of $100,000. But then the Chinese knockoffs saw it. Because on Kickstarter, you had to put all the details, how to make it, how to, what the design is. Then the Chinese factory saw it. And also they were already copying Segway at the time. They already knew this type of technology. But so that's very easy for them to look at my hoverboard. Oh, that's how you did it. Different from the Segway. So they just quickly, I think they came out earlier than us. We cut Kickstarter, we took a year to come out the product. They were just a few months earlier than us to put in the market. And pretty soon you saw the 2014, 2015 all over the world. Then that was another problem. I realized, okay, not just first idea, initial idea, nobody understand your idea until you got popular. People all come in. Well, 2015 did it. So many people come in, including Mark Cuban, Razor, and about 20 big companies come in bidding on that one. That's how. But also I realized something. In the modern time, because the e-commerce, like Amazon, big one, many of those, that made people from a different country, like in China, if they copy your product, they can sell directly to this country or anywhere in the world so fast. So you can't even steal them easily. You can't even stop them. Not like traditionally. Okay, you got an idea, and people usually just reflect your patent. Don't do anything. But in a foreign country, they may not have the same law, or maybe they don't have this kind of a knowledge of patent. You need to respect patent. They just decide to make it on their own and sell to this country. You can't really go there sue them easily. So that's how I see another problem with the modern, the e-commerce.
So how did the hoverboard start to get traction? I mean, you went to this toy fair a couple of years. Like, how did there start to get interest in it?
Well, in toy fair, also we went to some other shows, even in Europe, some shows. Everybody liked it, but it's very hard for anyone to decide to take it, because I think most companies they probably don't want to do this. Okay, they probably don't want to take the risk. They want to see how you're marketing it until they see, wow, everybody like it. We're going to do it. Start to come back. This is the problem. So that's the kind of a difficulty for any inventors, I think.
Yeah. So it starts to gain some, some traction behind it, et cetera. Like, how do you start to prevent these knockoffs from happening? Like, what kind of, like, how did you handle that? Because there were all these different knockoffs that were being created.
Well, it's difficult. The 20 years ago, the old time is easy. Most people don't copy your patented product. And if they did, right, you can just usually send letters, have your lawyer send letters, they'll stop. Also, it takes time for them to copy things. But in the modern time, they can copy so fast. It takes years for anyone to develop something new, right? Lots of trial error, lots of tests. But copier, they skip all that. They just get one of your product. They can copy, design everything you have in 3 months. That's actually the fastest I experienced. The 2.5 months to come out the same thing and start selling. So in this type of situation, and also in the situation that e-commerce can allow them to sell across country so easily, it's very hard to get them. To me, I'm sorry I have to say, the patent's not working anymore for the modern time. So I think we have to do something on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think I read that you have 33 different patents. Like, how many of these patents have become products that you've put out into the world?
Well, now I already got 76. I just
76.
not too long ago because when we launched the car, right? We have to. And some people ask me how many patents. I told them 76 now. Well, you have an idea. Firstly, you kind of test it with your own prototype, make sure it works, then you file patent. Then, of course, lots of lots of ideas, even you file a patent, it doesn't mean you'll be practically enough for other people to use it or like it. So, among 76 of my patents, I think I have about 10, made into the market and people like it. We got a percent. This information from a long time ago from U.S. Patent Office. They said there's about 2% of inventions, the patented inventions, actually made money. So it's very low percentage. So I always like that in the very beginning. Like, you got so many ideas. In most of them don't work. You got one family working, but just like you do anything, the more you do it, you get better at it. So now my rate is higher, like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5 now.
Huh. So why do you think, like, balancing, like, I think there's a lot of different ideas you had that have been focused around like balancing and self-balancing. Why do you think that's been such a major focus for you?
I was into many other type of inventions, non-electrical first until I think 2010. I accidentally got into auto balancing. Like I mentioned earlier, the invention of random, right? It's not really focused on something. So I saw Segway, obviously, 20 years ago. Then later on, I saw someone putting auto balancing on a unicycle. Basically, they put it into a sitting unicycle, like traditional unicycle. They put a motor and put auto balancing. That basically does the same thing like Segway, but with one wheel. I found out from other people. I get a chance to try it. It's still so difficult to learn because, well, Segway has 2 wheels. The 2 wheel, you're stable laterally, right? Auto balancing can balance you forward and back. So a Segway is fine. You're stable. And one wheel, you are stable. When you're auto balancing, you make you stable forward and back. but you're still going to fall left and right. That's why it's still difficult. Then, why just at that time I found a problem, found a solution for the problem. The problem is because I realized, well, because that's another thing. As inventor, they often do is they see the problem and they analyze it and they see how to solve it. That's how you invent something. So I saw the problem, right? Then I tried to find out why. Then I realized, okay, because you were steering something. Okay, I had to start from a little earlier. So when you ride a bicycle, right, you steer with the front handlebar. You fall left, you turn left, fall right, turn right. So you're steering to balance left and right. One wheel, if you sit on it, how do you steer? Your entire hip going to rotate left and right. But here's the problem. According to the physics, if you move something to one direction, your other part of the weight is going to counter, torque to the other direction, because our lower part of our body has about the same weight as our upper part of the body. So you rotate your hip to left, your upper body is going to rotate to the right. So you end up doing nothing. That's why it's so difficult to balance. Bicycle, you don't have that problem. You rotate, just your hands, then the front wheel rotate, and there's no problem. So to solve that particular problem, I just realized, okay, what if I stand up? My feet will rotate the wheel only. My feet and the lower part of the leg has a much smaller mass than my whole body. Therefore, when you rotate your feet, your upper body is not going to move much. So you can achieve the steering, balancing the aspect. So basically, then it made it much easier to learn. So I made a prototype. I tried it, and I was really happy. It worked right away. It took me like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to learn.
Huh. Wow, that's interesting. So now with the car that you're building, Shane, like why do you want to make a car, and what do you think the competitive advantage of having this like 2-wheel balancing car is?
The 2-wheel car I just launched a few days ago, that actually has completely different technology than hoverboard. It looks like hoverboard. I know lots of people just call it a giant hoverboard. It's quite different. Hoverboard and a Solowheel, you're balancing something above, much higher above the wheel center. So if you put any, your center of gravity is above the center of the wheel, you're not stable. So you will fall. It's like when people have a longer stick is better. You can balance by doing this, right? Follow the stick, because the center of gravity of the stick is higher than your hand. So you can balance it. The other balancing technology just do that. Basically, the motor is going to, have a gyro sensor, a sense you're falling, you immediately catch up, speed up to catch you. So you're balancing. The car is opposite. The car has 2 big wheels. The center of the wheel is higher than the center of gravity. So the car is stable, hanging there. It's like a pendulum, right? The other balancing hoverboard and Solowheel or Segway, it's called the inverted pendulum, right? But the car I just launched, it's just pendulum, because it's hanging down. So you're stable when the car is steady, and it's also stable when the car is moving in the constant speed. The only problem with the 2-wheel car, let me back up a little bit. I assume people always prefer 2-wheel car in the very beginning, like 100 years ago. But the problem is you build a 2-wheel car, even with the big wheel, the center of the wheel is higher than the center of gravity, right? It's stable. But when you start accelerate, or decelerate, the car body when you accelerate the car body gonna tilt up. When decelerate or hit brake, the body gonna go the other way because you only have a one axis, the support. People probably have that experience when you drive a car. When you accelerate really hard, right, you're gonna tilt back a little bit. When you hit brake hard, you're gonna tilt forward. But because you have four wheels, so it will support front and back. When you have two wheels on parallel two wheels on a single axis, the whole car can go tumbling. So it's not safe to drive a car like that. I recently just solved that problem. That's why my two-wheel car become practical. Because what I did is, you see the video, when you accelerate, the whole car body move forward ahead of the wheel. When you decelerate or braking, the wheel move ahead of the body first. Then the balancing become perfect. So this balancing is actually it's different and actually it's opposite from the hoverboard.
So do you think that it's a much safer experience for driving than what's currently out there for like a four-wheel vehicle? Do you think there's like a competitive advantage in that sense?
Yeah, yes, for my new car invention, I think so. Because since I solved that problem, and first of all, you see the cars can just sit there very stably because the center of wheel is higher than the center of gravity. It's hanging there. You can't fall. Since I solved the problem of acceleration, deceleration, the tilting part, then you can see the cars always balanced, no matter how you do it. Then I think it's as safe as a regular car, because another way to explain that is, see the two wheels move relative to the car body. When you accelerate, right, before the car gonna tilt back, your car body already forward. That's kind of the other way to say that it's the wheel becoming your rear wheel. So you cannot tilt back easily, because the wheel can travel as far back as possible to make sure that your car cannot tilt back. When you hit brake, the same wheel will become front wheel, go forward as far as possible that you cannot tilt forward. That actually is equivalent to four-wheel car. That's why I think it should be safe enough.
What do you think this type of car would cost? And like, how do you plan to bring it to market?
Well, I'm not a car maker. I just got this new concept. I was hoping whoever uses it, license it. I mean, obviously, I can't really make the car easily by myself, so I need other, help and license to the car companies. I think it's up to them to, figure out everything. But just from my own, knowledge now from the concept, it shouldn't be more expensive than the traditional four-wheel electric car. First of all, I eliminate, because only two wheels, right? We don't have the steering mechanism. The four-wheel car have a front wheel steering system. It's really complicated. The two front wheels going to steer like that, right? Have all of the linkage to connect to your steering wheel. Very complicated mechanical, setup. And I don't have it. It's just two wheel. Then how do we steer? We control the speed differential, just like hoverboard. So it's no steering system. It should be cheaper for that part. So I think it should be at least same or cheaper than the four-wheel car.
Look, Shane, I think that's all the questions that I had. I appreciate you coming on. I think you have, a really great story, and you've created things that have impacted the lives of so many. And I think this new car concept has a lot of merit too, and can solve problems and make it more affordable for people to get into the electric space. So I wish you much success on that.
Thank you.